What it is, you guys, it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Drama Like Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, girl, because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all face to bleak. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, I'm coming through today, October the 31st. The last 15 minutes, we about to be in November. November 1st is upon us, right? So, before I started this video, I'm sorry. This is continuation from the video I started before work. Before work, I was telling you my personal story with having to be a single mother on food stamps, on EBT. And it kind of cut off where I was saying that, and actually, I'll eventually link the first part in the description box. If not, just scroll. It's right before this video. But I was saying that people are like, but what about those that get EBT? Like, they get the large amounts of EBT. And I'm like, those are usually people that have larger families. There's multiple people in the family and they are feeding multiple people. It's not just one person or two people, right? And then you got those that are single and are disabled and things like that. Like myself, they were only giving me $30. I got $30 a month. Now, when I was a single mother, I used to get like 200 and something like that. Sometimes, I think when I first lost my job and went all the way down to like nothing, and I was also getting a cash advance, they give you $100 a month. That's how much they were giving me for, not cash advance, I'm sorry, cash assistance, right? It was $100 a month. Girl, what could I do with that? And when you're getting cash assistance, they also make you volunteer at the place, or you had to take like some type of classes, but they weren't really like classes that you learn too much alleged from. It was like busy work almost. It was just, if I'm going to give you this $100, I'm going to consume. And it was way too much time. It wasn't even like I could be doing job searching and stuff. I was glad when I found my theme park job. That was when I had that issue. I did not expect to lose my job. I lost my job because of a slip and fall, because I got injured. And I went from having 401k, from having stock in the company, from being built up to making a good salary, to having vacation, having health care. Yes, they tie your health care in allegedly with your job so that you kind of stuck to that goddamn job allegedly. I lost all of that in one whop and then was permanently injured, making it very difficult from that point to work. In my early 30s, and I had a child that was only 12 years old. I had multiple years to go, plus being a single mother because they wrongfully incarcerated my husband. So not only am I the only breadwinner now, I can't even win all the bread that I need to win because I'm not even made whole anymore. And then they got over on me and called me in between the week that my mother passed from an outpatient surgery, allegedly, from negligence, to tell me I'm not getting a dime for being permanently injured, allegedly, right? So that was my setup in my life at that time, going from all of that to losing everything to starting over at 30, 32. starting to completely over. I have built myself up some from 20, right? And what I realize is in these jobs, when you lose that job, you lose that whole status. It's not like you find another job and you start over at that spot. I didn't even know what minimum wage was. Baby, I found out quickly. And that's when I was getting $100 cash assistance, which it assisted in what? And then they gave me some gas cards and food stamps. Now, the food stamps was the biggest attribute because then at least I didn't have to worry about how I'm going to feed my child and myself. At least that part. So back then, as a single mother, I did get the most, but then I started seeing that it declined. It started declining until I was getting like 2 something and then 1 something as she got older, right? But still being a disabled person that works, I only get, and I can't even work my full shifts, y'all. Y'all don't understand. I am freaking struggling from this permanent injury. And then when you're injured and injuries set in, they get worse over time. Arthritis starts to set into your body. Your body starts to not be able to move and work. And almost in this society, when you're not able to work, it's almost like just discard them. Get them out of here. They're worth nothing. That's allegedly how you feel as a disabled worker, right? And definitely people that work with you may not always get it. So you're getting heck for being disabled, but you have to work, right? So I'm in this stuck position right here, having to work, which October, the last day of October, is Disabled Workers Month, Awareness Month, right? It is very difficult. I can't even work full shifts like I need to keep up with this inflation that I can't keep up with. I work a reduced schedule. They have to modify my job responsibilities because I am disabled. I cannot do everything, right? So to keep up with the inflation, really I need to add a second job and a 1.5, 2 jobs, right? I really need to be working 3 jobs, but for those that's out there working 3 jobs, I can't even physically do it. So if it comes to a point where I can't no longer, and I barely, it be the grace of God that I barely pulled through on my one job. And many times I get paid and I'm in the hole already. I know y'all know that, how that is, right? Because many of us are going through this. But what if it got so bad that I couldn't even afford, and thank God, see, God got me set up good, and it's only him that I'm still surviving. I get a free meal every day at work. There are many workers that don't get a free meal. Baby, sometimes that's my meal. Like I eat half now and half later. That might be my whole day's, of nutrition, honestly. Like literally. But there may not be people that fortunate, right? And so what happens when everything is so high and this one job is not enough? There could be people in that situation, because I'm sure I'm not a unicorn. I'm sure there's someone out there just like me in the same situation. That's why I love social media, because we can actually converse and you can see that you are not alone. But that was at least a safety net to where the person could actually eat. You got people that were coming home from jail that would receive food stamps. Do you know it's not that? And I know here you come with your holier than thou and your, oh, let me judge because they shouldn't have never did. They shouldn't have never did. Let me get to it before you can comment it. They shouldn't have never did what they did. They shouldn't have never. So you get out of prison, allegedly, or jail eating allegedly not for human food. You know, we just did that video, right? And now you finally home. You're trying to reintegrate where it is not even designed for you to reintegrate into society, but you don't want to go back to prison, right? So you're trying to do the best you can. You're trying to find a job. The pressure is on. You had all these stories of when you got out of jail, right? Now you out of jail. Now it's showtime. And things ain't coming as fast as you thought. Many jobs you might be able to get, you might can't get because now you have a felony or you have whatever on your record now. You can't hardly find you a place to stay because of that felony, because they don't make it easy for you to reintegrate back into society. But at least you can eat, right? And at least you eating is preventing you from going out there and doing something else to somebody. Because if you can't eat, Tupac even said that. He said, man, my stomach hurting. That analogy when he was like, he knocking on the door and you come calmly and they crack the door open and you see, oh, they up in there eating. They got food. And you come in and you're like, I'm kind of hungry. Now, I don't know how he said it exactly, but I'm giving you the analogy. I'm hungry. Can you help us? And they kind of closed the door in their face, right? In his face. And then he was like, by a certain amount of days later, we knocking that door down. Look, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And hunger will put you in some certain states. That as well within the prison. You have many of our loved ones that can't eat like that. They don't have people on the outside, right? So then you get out and at least you were able to feed yourself while you going through the rest of this stuff to reintegrate back into society and actually become an asset to society and not a detriment, right? And at least you were eating. But if you ain't eating, baby, you gonna eat. Especially you just got out. Remember, you was in that situation, in that environment where you had to do whatever to eat. What you think allegedly people are going to revert back to. So you got the single mothers, and there's probably some single fathers as well. You got the disabled. You got the returning citizens. You got the kids themselves. So now you got a lot of hungry people. What is this conducive of? A lot of people doing some stuff that they never should have did and probably never would have did, right? But, I was saying at that, and it took too long and now I'm out of time. I was saying that I would rather my tax dollars go to those single mothers and let them stay home, even if they is staying home. And why they ain't got to work 3 or 4 jobs like me and they just sitting home getting food stamps. I would rather the mother be home with their children, impacting their children's lives, being with their children. I used to cry because I wanted to be with my child so bad. My daughter, her father was already gone to a wrongful conviction. I never wanted my daughter to say she could not do this and that because her father wasn't there. So you already got a father that's not there. So I want to be an ever-present mother. I wanted to be in her life. But guess what? I couldn't be in her life the way I wanted to because I had to work to try to survive. And midway through raising her, I became disabled and still, girl. And none of this but the glory of God that I even got through all of this. When my child was almost grown, I literally thought I wasn't even going to make it. And I woke up one day and she was grown. If it took longer to get her to of age, I would not be here. I would have been gone because I couldn't do it. It's too much. It's too heavy. And guess what? That was decades before this inflation and all of this happening. So if I couldn't even hardly do it with the little bit that we had, and they're taking that little bit, I can't imagine how mothers are doing it now. So I would rather you give it to them rather than giving it to what, like you got my tax dollars allegedly going to keep people in prisons and jails allegedly. My tax dollars and whoever else tax dollars is keeping my husband wrongfully incarcerated. We're paying for that. We're paying for mass incarceration allegedly. And you gladly fit the bill because you think allegedly is keeping you safe. As more things are applied to pressurize to keep you unsafe. So how they going to keep you? They make you unsafe and then they keep you safe. I would rather my tax dollars allegedly go over there to the single mothers so they can stay home with their children, school their children at home allegedly, teach them the history that they don't want to teach them allegedly in these schools. Right? But you never know when you might be in that position to need those same food stamps. For many, 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 many years, remember all through my 20s, I did not qualify for food stamps at all.